Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at the questions to ask when you are an analyst. Most of us, we might tend to think that being an analyst is about something else, but today I just want us to have a look at the question to ask specifically when you're an analyst, coming up right now. I just prepared a few financials, a few operational data from when I used to have my shop a while back. We're just gonna look at 1 month data and then maybe take it from there to say, what does this mean? And then what can we do as analysts? So I just want you to have a look quickly. A quick glance at this. This is just in Excel. I just created an Excel workbook. Maybe before then, I should probably come down here and let's do some justice to it. Let me come down here and create let's come down here and create November. Let me show you what November is made up with. So I have different products. So I have scones, muffins, jam tarts, everything else, hot beverages for 10 rands, 20 rands, whatever the case is. On the side I have a date to say it's the 1st of January, 1st of November. How many quantities did I sell and how much it was, and then I have total for a week, and then we can go down and then it's the same thing the following week, but I think in this one I managed to complete everything else. Same products on the side. When we have a new product, make it to the list. And then as part of the conversation, I just showed you this and I said, this is the quantities, this is the amount, and then I take it to the summary. And then on the summary, of course it's a summary, so I just come here and I said, instead of talking cookies one by one, this is the sum total of what did I sell as buckets. So for this 5 weeks, in November, I've sold 1,365, and because you're a good analyst, you would want to make sure that they do tie up. So how do I get to the number? If you sum up this, and then you sum up that, and you sum up this, and then you sum up that, and then you sum up the last week, well, one more week, and then you'll get the total here of 23,350. So it is the same 23,350. So well done. You are an inquisitive analyst who makes sure that you also abide by the balancing rule. Then I showed you all of this, and you can see I have scones, I have muffins, I have jam tarts, I have biscuits, and then here probably, I don't know how you're gonna do it. Maybe you can group this as treats, and you can sum them up and you say, listen, for your treats you've only spent 4,000 for your treats, and then you can maybe sum this too, because those are like beverages, 3,000 for your beverages. And then here you can have cakes and cake slices, it's only 611 for that. And then here you have meals, which is 15,000. You have fruits and you have the snack bar, which is 201. And then you sit with this, and then I say, my friend, there you go. I gave you this data, and then what would you want to hear from me? What would you want to hear from me? Would you start looking at week by week? Or would you start asking what happens in December? Because we haven't populated December, even though we have the December data. I think the question that we want to ask here is, you shouldn't do anything else with my data. The only thing else that you should ask me is, what would you want me to do with the data? It sounds like a simple question, but what I normally used to find myself as an analyst, I would get data and I would go crazy on it. And I start putting it in graphs, putting it in pie charts, make a presentation out of the data so that it can look beautiful and nice for the audiences. But if you don't ask me what is it that I want out of this data, I'm not going to buy whatever analysis that you're doing for me. So the simplest question, the right question to ask for anybody else, once you find data, find who's the owner of the data, or find whoever wants to get knowledge from the data. Some people might say, oh, I see you don't have maybe street food. Add Magwinya, add Acha, some Polonies on the side. Let's see how does Magwinya and Polonies happen in December. Who knows? The fact that you have meals, pap and chakalaka and beef stew, and you're selling 15,000 out of that, who knows? Maybe in December people will want to chill and have, you know, Heinekens with Magwinya on the side. I never asked you that. Nothing. What if I showed you all of these times and then I ask you, what was the Liverpool versus Manchester United score? What was the last derby score, Chiefs and Pirates? What if I ask you that? And my question has got nothing to do with data. So I think the best question that I've learned thus far, first thing, get a sponsor, which is the person who wants to get something else from data. Once you have received the sponsor, then ask the sponsor, what is it that you should do with the information that you have? Once they say, I want you to analyze and tell me whether it's still worthwhile to sell meals, for instance. Then you go into meals. Then you look at meals. I want you to tell me if it's still worthwhile to call our shop a coffee shop. That has got nothing to do with data. It has everything else to do with doing customer analysis that says how many customers would react if your shop is to be called whatever, Lisema's Takeaways, or is to be called the best corner shop, or is to be called Lisema's Coffee Shop, or the name remain Malebuang Cakes. That probably has got nothing to do with data. I might be using this data to get to that question that's bothering me. But for you as an analyst, the first thing to tell you about what's the next steps. Before you start bringing in your Magwinyas, your Achas, and your Palonis into this, ask the shop owner, in this case it was myself, sorry sir, what would you want me to do with your data? Then I give you a research question. Then I will say, your research question is it still worthwhile to continue naming my shop Malebuang Cakes, or should I rebrand? Only then will you be able to come back to this data and do something else about it. It looks very, very simple, but it's very complicated, and we always get it wrong. I used to get it wrong all the time. I am always guided by what the project sponsor wants me to do.